What's up, everybody? It's Mac from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and I just got back from seeing Wonder Woman. That's right, the newest DCEU film that is a whole lot better than the other films in the DCEU. I didn't actually hate the other films in the DCEU. I just think they're all problematic. I think there's things to like about Batman vs. Superman. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is probably one of them. And I actually think there's things to like about Suicide Squad. I thought Margot Robbie, hands down, I loved her as Harley Quinn. So I find things to like among the things that I hate about the film. I will say that with Wonder Woman, there are more things to like, considerably more than to hate, and actually it's way more than probably the other films in the DCEU. Patty Jenkins, what she's done here with Wonder Woman is she's officially reset the goodwill train for the DCEU. If everybody watches Wonder Woman, I feel like the DCEU can go anywhere from here. They can either decide we need to be more like Wonder Woman, or we need to be more like Suicide Squad. And I think one is the correct path, and one is the lesser correct path. I can't say that choosing to be like Suicide Squad would have made so much money is necessarily a bad thing, but it is if you like good films, because that's bound to be problematic, and those films are not just, they're all going to be like C, B films. So if they really want to stand up to Marvel, they really should let Patty Jenkins run the DCEU and not Zack Snyder. Flame on, bitches. I think Patty Jenkins, after Wonder Woman, has earned the right to control the DCEU and not Zack Snyder. So let's dive into Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman is an origin movie for our beloved superhero played by Gal Gadot, and we start out seeing her as a child on this island with the other Amazonian women, and we learn how they came to be, how they're on the island. Chris Pine is a World War II soldier who crashes and washes up on shore, and they haven't had a man, and Gal Gadot's Diana has never seen a man before. She's only learned about them. So this is her first experience with someone of the male sex, which adds a lot of humor into the film, and genuine humor, and not goofy humor or campy humor, but actually like kind of funny, heartwarming, appropriate humor. So she rescues Chris Pine and saves his life, and then she learns about this war, and there's some history with Ares, who's the god of war and apparently killed all the other gods, and he's the last god standing, and his destiny is to kill the rest of the Amazonian women, but their mission is to kill Ares. So Diana wants to kill Ares, and she believes that Ares is the reason for World War II. There's actually never really a mention of Hitler, so she just goes off on her own to stop Ares. She's a badass, and there's a little bit more with her history and upbringing that they sort of save, so I don't really want to get too much into it because it's spoilery. There's a lot of things with this film that are spoilery. Ares is actually kind of spoilery, like who Ares is anyway, which I actually loved. I loved that there were a couple people that I thought could be Ares, and that kept it interesting for me, because it wasn't so like, oh, here's your villain and we know who he is from the beginning. It was more like Mandarin, kind of, where there's this reveal and you're like, oh shit. Like, it felt more like the Iron Man 3 reveal to me than a lot of other superhero films where you know straight up this is the bad guy, pretty straightforward from the beginning. I appreciated that. That was one of the few things. What I also really appreciate about this film is the character development. It both kind of enhances the film and also hampers it a little bit, because sometimes the film drags a bit. This is almost a 2.5-hour movie. And runtime is definitely an issue for me, because I think this film could easily be tightened up by at least 5 minutes, if not 10 minutes. There's some times where the film has pacing issues. It speeds up and slows down, speeds up, slows down, speeds up, slows down. And a lot of it's so that it can insert a lot of these character moments so that we can really start to understand who Diana is and these other characters around her. It sets up sort of in the same way that Captain America set up these characters for her sort of own extended universe and how they can be used. It's the parallels here to Captain America are just kind of shocking. I think this story is a lot like Captain America's, in that you even see, like, she's working with her love interest, and then they recruit like a group of people, just like Captain America had his own little group of badasses around him. It's during a war. There's a little bit of parallels there to Captain America, but I thought it worked for Wonder Woman. I thought there was nothing really that I didn't like about the story. I thought it was a good story. There's so much color in this film. I'm so glad they didn't go the like saturated dark look of Batman versus Superman. That just or like the bizarre Suicide Squad sort of look. This is just, it looks like a normal film. It really does, all the way up until the end. We'll get to that. This is why film is not an A for me later. But what else I loved, Gal Gadot. I think she's great as Wonder Woman. I think this is a role that she feels fully invested in, just ready to go the mile. You know, you can just feel it from her. Like, jump and she'll jump. I think this is very much a role for her that she will not leave. I think she'll play Wonder Woman as long as she'll be allowed to play Wonder Woman. There's just something about her connection to the role that you can feel from the very beginning, how deeply connected she is, how much she's tried to understand the character, and how much work she's really put in. And I respect that from her. I totally bought her as Wonder Woman. She's great in the ass-kicking sequences, and there are some sequences in this movie that are amazing. The first big action sequence, hands down, is actually the best in the movie. Later on, we have another one that's like in the middle of World War. I love that one too. I thought that one was great. There are even like little barroom fight scenes that are great. And then we have the third act. I guess we're there. I like Chris Pine too. I thought Chris Pine was a good foil for her. The small moments that he shares with her brings out the humanity and the humor in Diana as a character. He was everything he needed to be as a human plot device. Basically, that's what he is. He's a plot device used to further the story and to further her character. And there's no real future for him as a character because, spoiler alert, as you may know, the rest of the extended universe is set in the future. So the best he could hope for is being old as fuck, like Agent Carter, in a nursing home somewhere, because he is not superpowered. So I guess he could be Winter Soldiered. I don't know. Maybe there's a Winter Soldier option for him somewhere. But yeah, because he doesn't have powers, and we're in the future now. He's either dead of old age, about to be dead of old age, or he's been Winter Soldiered. But there's not a whole lot of future for him unless he's Winter Soldiered. So I think that's... Yeah, I pretty much liked most of the film, except the third act. Not even really the third act, like the action part of the third act. I imagine this is what happened. I imagine they were shooting the film and Patty Jenkins was doing great and she was like, I got this on lockdown. This film's gonna be amazing. And then Zack Snyder flies in on a plane and he's like, yo, I heard you were directing the final battle today. Nah, I'ma direct that. And he just like shoved her out of the way. It was like, this is how it's gonna go. Because it tonally feels so different from the rest of the film. It goes back to that weird style that they shot the Batman vs. Superman finale in. It looks ridiculous. It's just, it's so bad, and it's nothing like anything we've seen in the film. And it literally goes back to Batman vs. Superman. So it feels like a different director actually came in and directed that sequence. I actually believe, in my heart of hearts, whether we'll find out or not, Zack Snyder directed about 10 minutes of this film that he didn't trust Patty Jenkins with, and that honestly is the worst 10 minutes of the film. So, you Zack Snyder. Because Wonder Woman was so close to being literally the best superhero film since The Dark Knight, I think, honestly. And we've had all of the Marvel films since The Dark Knight, and Wonder Woman was so close to being there. And then the third act happens, and you're back to this, like, shitty CGI, overly stylized, weird colors. It doesn't happen anywhere else in the film. So when it happens in the finale, it's so off-putting because you've been, like, for over 2 hours now, I've gotten used to how the film is. And when it shifts back to the Batman vs. Superman look, leaves such a gross taste in my mouth, you know? I was so angry because I was loving the film up until that point, and just the finale, it falls apart. It's a mess. It looks like a mess. It's overly stylized. It's back to that crap from the other, you know what I'm saying. So be prepared, because this film has one problem, and that one problem is being influenced at all by Zack Snyder. They should have just let Patty Jenkins do her thing, and I think the film would have worked out really well, because I thought she was killing it. But I guess Zack Snyder gets final say. So I used to respect him as a director. I just can't anymore. Alright, so Wonder Woman. Mostly good. Mostly a really fun time with good acting, good character development. It hits all the marks. Yeah, it's a little long. It has some pacing issues. Maybe saying it's the best superhero film since The Dark Knight is a little bit of a stretch. Maybe since The Dark Knight Rises. I've heard a lot of people saying that. Although, honestly, with that third act in there, I don't think that even this film is better than Logan. So I can't even say it's the best superhero film of the year, because it's not. It has potential to be. It really did. It truly did. It had the potential to be better than Logan, but that final fight scene just took the wind out of its sails, and it crashed in the end. So where do I grade this film? Do I punish the film severely for 10 minutes of the film that is honestly borderline unwatchable, or do I just take a little bit off? And to answer that question, I'm gonna give Wonder Woman an A-. Yep, I'm giving it an A-. I may regret that, but I loved everything but 10 minutes of the film. And those 10 minutes I fault Zack Snyder for. So, and he's not labeled as the director of the film. I think Patty Jenkins did a great job. I think the actors did a great job. And overall, I think the film would have been fine had he not forced his vision into the film. So, I don't want to I don't want to drop it down to a B+. It deserves better than that. So it's an A- for me. So what did you think? It's opening big this weekend. You probably have already seen it, because I'm reviewing it like on day 2. I'm a little late. Apologize. So comment below if you've seen it, if you like it, if you agree with my A-, if you disagree, if you hated the movie, if you think Suicide Squad's a better movie, or if you think Batman vs. Superman's a better movie, or if you think Batman and Robin's a better movie. Also, I could use a few more subscribers, so don't forget to subscribe if you like me or think you like me, or if you like to click subscribe buttons. If you have like a fetish for subscribe buttons, I hope that's a thing. I need to find the support group for people who have a fetish for subscribing to things, and I need to tap into that. Tap into that market. All right. Until my next review, peace out.